Good afternoon, everyone. Today's session is going to be really helpful and it's led by Dr. Ramani Ranjan from Apollo Cradle and Children's Hospital. He's going to talk about complementary feeding for infants. So stick around until the end and ask us questions if you have any. Let's not keep you waiting any longer. Doctor, you have the stage.
Right, thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Ramani Ranjan, Senior Consultant Pediatrics and Neonatology at Apollo Cradle and Children's Hospital, Greater Noida. So today we will be talking about complementary feeding. So this is something which we discuss very often with parents when the child is around 5.5, 6 months of age. So parents come and ask, "Sir, how do we start feeding? Kya khilana hai?" So I think we are going to discuss every bit of this today in next 10-15 minutes. So why 5-6 months, and why not earlier or why not later? There is a reason behind it. So बच्चा जब 5.5-6 महीने का हो जाता है and uh, that is the time when the child starts developing feeding habits. हमारे जो टंग मूवमेंट्स हैं, ओरल मूवमेंट्स हैं, जो एक्टिविटीज होती हैं विच इज कंड्यूसिव टू स्टार्टिंग कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री फीडिंग. So complementary feeding basically means addition of home based diet to whatever we are giving. Milk जो चल रहा है बच्चे का, whatever is being given should continue, but only milk is not going to be enough for child anymore, because the child's bodily requirements go up dramatically high, during first few years of life, and more specifically we say first 1,000 days of life. So that's why the role of complementary feeding and balanced nutrition. Balanced nutrition का मतलब है it should be a blend of carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins, minerals, water, fibers, सभी का एक balanced combination जो है that creates a balanced diet. And therefore it is very important that we start complementary feeding at around 6 months of age. And we should not be delaying this. This is very important because जितना हम delay करेंगे उतना ही difficulty होगी इसको establish करने में. So that's why we say that the right time to start is somewhere around 6 months of age. Now, how do we start? What do we start? What is the frequency of feeding? These are something which we discuss. So normally we start with some home-based liquids, something like dal ka pani, chawal ka pani, normal water. Usually we want to avoid salt and sugar in first few months of age. So I usually tell parents to start with a bland diet, and then we also avoid spices in first few weeks. But slowly and slowly we can start adding all these things. So liquids se start करेंगे, and then slowly we move over to semi-solids. Semi-solids like खिचड़ी, दलिया, सूजी के preparation, खीर, मैश करके बॉइल्ड एप्पल, पोटैटो, स्वीट पोटैटो, बनाना, एंड ऑल दिस ट्रेडिशनल जो होम बेस्ड डाइट है. It's better to choose from that itself. We do not have to have we need not have a very exhaustive diet chart which parents often demand. The diet chart is usually not very helpful because it will have ingredients which is not easily available. Sometimes it can be non-traditional to us. That means whatever we consume at home may not be a proper part of that diet chart. So it becomes difficult to implement. So what I tell parents कि हम जो डेली आमतौर पे जो डेली खाते हैं उसी में से आपको चूज करना है, उसी में से बैलेंस डाइट हमें बनानी है ना. So usually we start with little bit like 1 to 2 spoonful once or twice a day, and slowly we build up. We keep on testing, challenging the child every other day. Amount धीरे धीरे बढ़ाते जाना है. We usually go up to 3/4 to half katori a day, and then when we feel the child doesn't eat beyond that limit, then we can increase the frequency as well. And usually every month we can go up on frequency. For example, 6 months में एक बार, 7 months 2 months, 8 months में 3 बार, ऐसे we have to go up to 5 to 6 meals in by the time the child is 1 year of age. And there is a role of what we call staple food. What does it mean? Staple food means जो cereal based diet है, that has got very that is very significant, because the cereals, carbohydrates are the major sources of calorie in our food. Similarly, the addition of fats in the form of ghee, paneer, butter, non-salted cheese and all, this can also help in food fortification. So that will help in intensifying the calories. So this is very important in creation of a balanced diet. Sometimes also we add nuts, different forms. ground जो powders होते हैं, that can be also used as food fortification, because that will have extra minerals, sometimes iron as well. So these things can be started. The idea is to start new food item every 4 or 5 days, and check for any intolerance. अगर ऐसा लगता है कि एक particular food लेने के बाद बच्चा जो है intolerant hai, like the child starts vomiting, or somehow there is a feeling that the child is not liking, there could be rashes, then we do not give that food item, and we stop it, and then we can retry it later on. So that is heat and trial method. That means every 3 4 days you keep challenging the child with a new food item, and those who are being tolerated, we kind of keep rotating it. It's not advisable that you give same food to the child every day. You should keep rotating it so that the child gets different kind of nutrients every day, right? And then there is a role of water. Pani dena bhi zaruri hai. Usually starts with 50 to 100 ml per day and slowly build up. That is again important, especially in summer seasons when the temperature goes up. After 6 months, the body also starts needing water separately as well. And as the child progresses, we should also look into the texture of the food. So it's advisable that by 9 months we should start solids, proper solids, and by 1 year of age the child can have normal home diet जो हम और आप खाते हैं बच्चा, can consume that food as well. But that habit of chewing, it should start somewhere around 9 months. If we delay it, if we do not offer solids to the child, that habit of chewing will not develop. And if that habit doesn't chewing doesn't develop, that it will impede the oromuscular development, speech issues, and all that can happen if the child doesn't chew and doesn't start chewing. Although this chewing may not be effective, but it's very important to start offering solids to the child by this time of age. And apart from this, cow's milk and animal protein is usually started somewhere around 1 year of age. There are different recommendations. Some European bodies start animal protein, like non-vegetarians. If somebody consumes at around 8 months, 9 months, some start even earlier. But in Indian scenario, I think usually we recommend to start cow's milk, buffalo milk somewhere around 1 year of age. Non-veg can be started early based on the family practices. But again, as I said, we have to make sure that one food at a time, so that if there is any intolerance, or if there is any reaction, or if there is any food allergy, you can at least know what food item is causing this, and you can accordingly take it out of the baby's diet. So the idea is to keep on challenging the child, keep on offering new foods, and this also helps in building good food habits. क्या नहीं करना है, this is also very very important. Force feeding should not be done. Do not force feed your child. You may win in the short run, but long run there will be food aversion, which is not the right thing. And secondly, of course, we have to avoid any kind of distraction, especially mobile, computer, laptop, TV, during feeding. जब भी बच्चे को हम खिला रहे हैं, इन सब चीज़ों से दूर रखना है. फैमिली टाइम बढ़ाना है, बैठकर साथ में lunch, breakfast, dinner, as much as possible. As many people in the family, they should start eating together. This creates a good impact on baby's feeding behavior. Most of the time ऐसा करने से force feeding करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती है. And be guided by baby's tolerance. Do not give something which can choke baby's airways. For example, 6 महीने 7 महीने के बच्चे को you should not be giving peas, चना, अनार, ये सब अनार के दाने, ये सब अवॉइड करना है ना. And as a child grows older, we have to start these things. So based on the tolerance, we have to decide the food items. Based on the age of the child, we have to decide the food items. And then there is a concept of baby-led weaning as well, which is coming up very fast. बच्चे को टेबल पर चेयर पे बैठा के भी ऑफर foods which is age appropriate, and then let the child choose the kind of food he or she wants to consume. And इस तरीके से फूड में इंटरेस्ट आना शुरू होता है, फोर्स फीडिंग के चांसेस कम हो जाते हैं. Sometimes parents say that the child doesn't take adequate. We can have a combination of baby-led weaning and then traditional weaning. So whichever works in the right way, but the idea is that weaning has to start somewhere around 6 months of age, and nutrition is such an important part of child's development, especially in first 3 years of age, because the whole body is going to develop, new connections brain में बनते हैं, organs वो बड़े होते हैं. So all these nutrients are, paramount in the development of the child. And regarding salt and sugar, the recommendations say that we should avoid it in early few months of age, and slowly we can start introducing, because baby's kidneys they are still not very mature, and too much of salt will not be helpful, especially uh, if we know that the child has got any problem, especially renal issues. Then definitely we have to be really aware of the salt intake. Sugar का जहाँ तक सवाल है, refined sugar we should avoid. We can add jaggery to make it calorie intense. And then water, जैसे मैंने बताया, we have to start giving around 50 to 100 ml of water. Start with 2 to 3 spoonfuls of water, दिन में 3 बार 4 बार, and accordingly based on baby's tolerance you have to go up as well, because this is the time, 6 months plus, when children are also prone for constipation. So water intake is also an important part of the diet. Overfeeding avoid करना है. Do not have to force feed. That is very very important. And bottle feeding avoid करनी है. Do not bottle feed the child, because this is a source of infection, as well as jaw development, oromuscular development can suffer because of continued bottle feeding. Dental problems हो सकते हैं. And artificial packaged food items जो है, commercial junk food से definitely we have to avoid. And especially we say that any kind of preservatives we have to avoid in first 2 years of age. And uh, as I said, any kind of distraction like mobile, computer, laptop, TV, ये भी हमें avoid करना है. And कैलोरी इंटेंस बनाने के लिए खाने में जो ट्रेडिशनल घी है, पनीर है, जैगरी है, these all items should be added. So there could be, time when the child is not eating well, especially if the child is sick. And we have to make sure the child is well hydrated during that period by offering plenty of fluids. And once the child is better, the appetite will resume. ऐसा होता है, बहुत frequently when the child is unwell. So but we have to stick to the routine. The amount may come down during illness, but keep offering. That is very important. Especially hydration का बहुत ध्यान रखना है. So I think this is all about winning from my side. If there is any question, we can discuss. I don't see any question right now. We'll wait for a few more minutes. Right. So, if there are any questions, you can always get in touch with me at Apollo Cradle and Children's Hospital, Greater Noida, and we can discuss. We can sit together and discuss. Thank you very much for your kind and patient hearing. Have a great day. Thank you.